A few weeks ago, Toyota launched the 2023 Toyota Prius, and recently Toyota has provided additional information on the new Prius. And in this video, I will talk about the additional details and pricing of the 2023 Toyota Prius, and I would provide my thoughts if this car is worth buying or not. Hey, it's LSFT here today, and today we're here to talk about the 2023 Prius. Yes, this is the third video on the Prius, and this time it's because there's additional information provided by Toyota and also the pricing and the packages that we've talked about in the previous video when I talked about the packaging. So, the new Prius has a larger 2-liter engine compared to its previous 1.8-liter engine. The 2-liter engine produces 16% more torque, so that is from 120 pound-feet of torque to 139 pound-feet of torque. So that's 19 more pound-feet of torque, which is about, again, 16%. The torque from the electric motors, so they've called it the electric motor 2, which drives the front wheels, also increases 20%, which climbs the electric motor from 120 torque to 152 pound-feet of torque. That is another 20%. So when you really look at it, that's about 32 pound-feet of torque plus the additional 19. So that is a significant amount of torque that is added to the front wheels. And if you're interested to the all-wheel drive version, or if you're in Canada because we only get the all-wheel drive, there's an additional rear electric motor, and that one gained 50% more torque, and that is 41 pound-feet of torque in the 2022 model, and now it's 62 pound-feet of torque in the 2023 model. That is roughly 21 pound-feet of torque additional added to the rear motor. And it also has an output of 40 horsepower comparing to the little 7 horsepower in the previous generation. So you can see that the rear electric motor gains a lot more power in comparison to the 2022 model, which actually does gain probably where the performance is too. When it comes to fuel efficiency, the front-wheel drive, which is not available in Canada, gets a combined 57 miles per gallon, which converts to about 4.1 liters per 100 kilometers. And when you compare that to the 2022 Prius, it gets 58 miles per gallon city, 53 miles per gallon highway, and a combined of 56 miles per gallon. So that is actually 1 extra mile per gallon in the new 2023 model. So if you're not interested in the base LE trim, you want the XLE or the limited trims for the front wheel drive, it does get lower MPG, and it offers 52 miles per gallon combined, and this is also related to probably the additional weight on all the options that you get in these two grades. And the all-wheel drive LE grade gets 54 miles per gallon, and the XLE and limited all-wheel drive grades gets 49 miles per gallon combined. So you can see that the all-wheel drive definitely reduces the combined fuel consumption, but again, you do get more power and you do get more confidence of the four wheels driving when you need it to. Flipping over to Canada, we only get 2 grades, and it's the Prius that is all-wheel drive only. So in Canada, you only get the XLE and the limited trims, and they're both rated at 4.8 liters per 100 kilometers. And when you look at the 2022 models in Canada, they are rated at 4.7 liters per 100 kilometers. So that's only 0.1 liters per 100 kilometers difference when you compare it to the previous generation. They have developed a new lithium-ion battery, which gives 14% more output in kilowatts per hour. So when you look at the 2022 Prius, it has a 1.3 kilowatt hour battery. So gaining 14% means that the new battery gets about 1.48 kilowatt hours battery. but you can see that it's still a smaller battery when you compare it to the RAV4, the Camry, which has a 1.6 kilowatt hour battery. The Corolla hybrid does get a 1.3 kilowatt hour battery, so maybe in the future Corollas will actually get more juice too. Who knows? And to compare, the Lexus NX 350h has a 1.7 kilowatt hour battery, and the plug-in hybrid, the NX, has an 18.1 kilowatt hour battery. So when you look at that, the Prius still has a very small battery in comparison to the plug-in hybrids and even the other vehicles in the Toyota lineup. Maybe what has happened is Toyota still picked the most optimal size to ensure that it does not add too much weight, and they're able to actually gain the best efficiency for the 2023 Prius. The last topic is pricing. There are three grades for the 2023 Prius: LE, XLE, and Limited. They come in two variants, front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, which makes it a combination of six different grades. So looking at the LE and the XLE all-wheel drive, it starts at 27,450 for the front-wheel drive and 28,850 for the all-wheel drive. And you can see that the difference is $1,400 difference between the all-wheel drive and the front-wheel drive. And this feels like back in the old days where you wanted automatic transmission. Standard was manual, and if you wanted automatic transmission, you had to pay about a grand for the automatic. So now it feels like you pay $1,400 for the all-wheel drive. The only option that you can get on the LE is the front and rear parking assist with automatic braking for $35. Okay, come on Toyota. $35, why don't you just chip it in and put it as standard and call it a day? Because now you have to have LE with this feature, LE all-wheel drive with this feature, and then it means you have four variants now. Probably it's a software update that they can do, but I think that $35 just could have been added as part of the package. Anyways, now let's go to the XLE and XLE all-wheel drive. The XLE starts at $30,895 and the all-wheel drive $32,295, and the same thing, $1,400 for the all-wheel drive. Then there are three options that you can add. The digital key capability for $275. So I do have the digital key with my NX, and I would say you can probably save that money unless you really want it. I don't feel that it's refined enough at this point to leave your key fob at home and just rely on your phone. And certain phones work, certain phones don't. Some people have better experiences. I think it really depends on the phone you have, but definitely maybe something that you can save the 275 on. Then the next one is the 12.3-inch Toyota audio multimedia display for $735. So this new infotainment system is actually more modern, and I think a larger screen will make it feel even better. So I think that is something that you can debate on if you wanted the larger screen or not, but 735 for the larger screens doesn't seem too much. And then there's this fixed glass roof, which is for $1,000. This is the dual panel panoramic roof that doesn't open, but it does have the shades that you can manually open and close. So if you have passengers in the back often, this could be a good option to get. Now we move on to the Limited. The Limited and the Limited all-wheel drive, same thing, $1,400 for the all-wheel drive, and it starts at $34,465 for the front-wheel drive and the $35,865 for the all-wheel drive. There are two options that you can get on the Limited. The digital rear view mirror for $200, and I think this is a good option to get. You get a screen on your rearview mirror and another camera module on the back of the camera. And I wish that Toyota will actually start making the rear camera as a dash cam so that you don't need to add another one if you wanted a rear dash cam. But one thing I'll actually put on for this digital rearview mirror is if you have difficulty focusing on close objects, you may not want to get this rearview mirror. Some people have actually said that they're having difficulty adjusting the distance and having difficulty with this digital rearview mirror. So, depending on you, you may opt to get it or not. The heated rear seats, again, $350 is not a bad price. If you have passengers in the rear back seats often and you live in a place where it gets cold in the winter, I think this is actually a good option to get. And as part of the limited, you can actually get a package called the Limited Premium Package, which includes the advanced park and a panoramic view monitor for $1,085. I would say price is not bad, and it really depends if you need this or not. Okay, the advanced park actually includes additional sensors on your bumpers so that it can actually automatically help you park. And the panoramic view monitor actually has two additional cameras, one on each side of the side mirrors, so that you can get a 360 view. And also, when you stop at a light, you can actually see what's in front of you. And it does just give you that 360 view. So I would say it's worth the money, but I think you really have to think that do you need it or not? And if you want a top of the line fully loaded, then get it, right? Then you look at the paint. There are a few colors. The red and the windshield pearl is additional 425. And if you did look at some photos where you have that yellow Prius, you're not getting that in the United States. And I don't think you're getting that in Canada as well. So the pricing for the Canadian market is a little bit different. There's only two trims or two grades. You have the Prius XLE all-wheel drive and the Prius Limited all-wheel drive. So they only have all-wheel drive and they only have the XLE and the Limited. And when you look at the pricing, 36,490 and 42,990. And when you look at it, we don't actually get much options here in Canada. The digital key that I said that you can actually opt out, the panoramic view monitor, digital rearview mirror, heated seats, advanced park, and the front rear, the $35 option, all are included already. You have no way to say I don't want it. So this is actually the fully loaded trim in the United States. And when you look at the XLE all-wheel drive, it actually just has whatever it is in the XLE all-wheel drive. I don't see any additional things that is added. So when you look at this, it's much simpler to order in Canada because there's only two, right? But the price has significantly gone much higher. So now let's look at the pricing for Canada and the United States. So for Canada, as I said in 2023, we only have two options. And when you look at 2022, this is the MSRP for all the trims that's available. So the Prius is really the base model. All-wheel drive E is the one with base with all-wheel drive. We have a technology with all-wheel drive, and then there's a technology all-wheel drive plus other options. And that brings it to $36,020. So when you look at this, the top trim in 2022 now is the starting price of the 2023 XLE all-wheel drive in Canada. And when you look at that, it's still $470 more than the fully loaded 2022. And when you look at from a start to our start in Canada, it's $6,100 more for the 2023 XLE all-wheel drive. That's a fair jump, right? And when you look at a fully loaded 3620 with a fully loaded limited at 42,990, that's another $6,970 more. So when you look at it, In Canada market, there's only two trims, two options, two grades, and you're looking at about a $6,000 to $7,000 increase comparing to 2022 and the 2023. So one thing that you'll need to think about, is this car worth the $6,000 to $7,000 more? So from 10.5 seconds to 7 seconds, maybe. Better and sexier look, maybe. So you really need to think about it. Is this car worth its money in the Canadian market? And then when we switch over to the United States, there was an L trim, which starts at $24,625. And when you compare that with the now starting $27,450, let's have a calculation of that and see how much of a difference of starting. So you're looking at $2,825 increase from, just say, the start mark. Then if you had to compare the LE with the LE, it's 16,115. LE all-wheel drive, same thing. And when you look at the XLE, it's about $2,000 more. XLE all-wheel drive is $2,620 more. The Limited is $1,500 more. And then this is where some complexity comes in, because there was not a limited all-wheel drive in 2022 in the United States. So we really can't compare that. But then they actually also offered a Nightshade all-wheel drive, which is a little bit more than the XLE. But then if you take that comparison, that's $5,000 more. And you look at the Nightshade, $29,545. There is nothing comparable. So if you look at it, in the United States, getting a base Prius isn't that much more, especially when you look at, you do get Toyota Safety Sense 3.0, and you also get a faster vehicle, a more appealing look vehicle, and for $1,600 more, I think that's very reasonable in the pricing. But then because of all the advanced features that they have, so now this is a totally loaded, fully loaded, limited all-wheel drive with the premium package, with the digital rearview mirror, with the heated seats. You're looking at $37,500. So when you look at that with all the additional things and you compare that to the limited of 2022, that's about $5,000, $4,000, $5,000 difference. I would say that's actually not too bad when you compare the Canadian market, where we have a significant boost, right? If you look at $4,580 difference, that's quite comparable to the Canadian $6,970 Canadian. So when you look at it, yes, overall it has increased. And it has increased about $6,000 to $7,000 Canadian to $4,500 United States, the US dollar. So when you look at that pricing, I would say that increase is actually very reasonable with all the options and stuff that they've also included in the new model. And the good thing is, in the United States, you do get the LE all-wheel drive trim, which actually makes it more affordable as an entry item. But in Canada, unfortunately, they're only giving us two options, and the two options are quite significantly higher. Like if it was 29 something to start or even 30 to start, it would make actually more people who actually can afford that vehicle. But overall, I would say it's not too significant change, and when you look at the vehicle itself, it's actually probably worth it. So a better performing Prius, a better looking Prius, and a more expensive Prius really sums up the new Prius. So is it worth the money? I personally would say yes. Toyota is actually moving the Prius into another category for the 2023 model year, and the pricing at it is at a different level. I do think that it's important to note that there is the Toyota Corolla Hybrid, there is the Corolla Cross, and Camry, hybrid. There's a lot of options now compared to previously where there was only the Prius that was a hybrid. And now every model almost has a hybrid. So where does Prius really sit? So now Toyota is now moving the 2023 into a different category of its own. Toyota wanted to keep this iconic Prius nameplate and had to find a place for it. So they made it like a mini Toyota Crown. I think Toyota could have made a slower Prius and used similar technologies to get 60 miles per gallon, but they had to move the brand to the next level to attract younger buyers. Younger buyers probably would not accept a 10.5-second Prius. So now moving it to a 7-second and still getting very good miles per gallon, I think it set a good stage for younger buyers to buy. So if you're interested in buying one, leave in the comments below and let me know what you're looking for at, and do you think the Prius is worth its price? Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please comment, like, and share this video. If you'd like to see more videos like this, you can subscribe to my channel and press that alert button to get notified when new videos are posted. If you'd like to support the channel, you can definitely provide a super thanks. I'll see you guys again next time in the next video.